What's up, guys? So this is gonna be my second sort of video coming back. I watched my video yesterday that I created. It looked fine. I mean, I can tell that I'm getting a little more comfortable with the camera, which is cool, but it's funny because this whole process is like a really weird one where, I think a lot of the things in my life, I at least had stepping stones to like use to help me for the next thing. Like within business, you have a couple principles that even if you move industries, you can kind of take them with you. This is one of those where I feel like I am starting from scratch. And so it is really weird for me to kind of go through this process. And while I'm on the camera, start to think about how, I want to form ideas in future videos and things like that. And I apologize to those who are watching that it's just gonna be a mess for a little while, and I'm okay with that as long as you're okay with that. Actually, you know what? I just think that you're gonna have to be okay with it. I think that I just want to do this, and I want to do this for me right now. And I think the fact that I'm going to have 5 to 10 viewers on every video for the beginning is going to be appropriate. I had this thought yesterday that was very much so, with this creative process, it feels like I am, a toddler who is just learning to walk, and that the only difference is that I have to actually look at the video back. So it's like as I'm, a toddler crawling and I stand up, I'm gonna be falling. In the videos, I can see myself kind of not create these cohesive ideas or statements or whatever, but I can see myself falling, and so it's funny to watch it back, and my goal is to try to watch them back in a loving manner that like maybe a parent would, for watching their son kind of stammer through and fail. I mean, fail is a subjective term or whatever, but just be there for myself in this creative process. And so that's what I think is going to be interesting about this whole process, is that my goal is not necessarily to say that I have this all down. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I started doing it from this perspective and not having like the lights and the super production stuff, is because I rather enjoy the process of getting in front of the camera to just do this, so that I can have a perpetual love for being creative, and I don't want to make the other things get in the way of that creative flow or process. And so what I'm trying to do here is just make it basic so that I can enjoy what I'm doing, and then as things progress, I'm sure I will continue to add and subtract things from the video. And so I think with that being said, my real goal with the videos, at least for right now, my intention is to, like I said in the other videos, is create a platform for thought-provoking conversations within your own self. And I would love to try to use the thought-provoking things that are in my life that have helped me in my life, not for me to actually tell you, what's even like, obviously there's going to be things that have worked for me that I'm going to like express, but even then I don't even expect you to integrate them. My goal is just to throw out thought-provoking thought experiments so that you can go along your day thinking about specific things that you choose to think about. If I express something in a video and it doesn't seem like it's very thought-provoking, then you just don't think about it. But if it is thought-provoking, then you should think about it. None of this is gonna be what's right or wrong or how you do A, B, and C. For me, I would just love for it to be, hey, this is what I think about. It's just a bizarre thought, and therefore I wanna kind of express it. And I think in that process though, I get really vulnerable. Even watching myself yesterday, I realized that there is a vulnerability to this that I'm like, wow, this is where my brain goes on occasion or consistently throughout the day. And therefore, sometimes these ideas are out there and I don't expect everybody to grasp them. Therefore, I'll also probably make notes throughout these videos where they'll say something like 1 to 10, 10 being like the most out there thoughts, and then the 1 might be, you know, a little bit more graspable. And the only reason why I do that is because I would like people to not feel like, wow, is this, I don't have any idea what he's saying. At least when you look at the video, you'll have an idea, okay, this video is gonna be a little bit more out there, and you can kind of decide how you wanna deal with that. But for right now, obviously I am just spitballing and I'm trying to figure out how this will be the most efficient way for me to progress in my life in this creative process. And so it's actually kind of funny too, because I would love for this to be, it's also kind of weird because I know at some point I'm gonna be in this creative space full time or at least a good majority of the time. And therefore, whether YouTube is the way that I get there or not, it is a good gateway for me to be able to express this. And so, yeah, my idea is just that you can see where I'm at in this process as well. And then down the road, you're gonna be able to kind of say, okay, well, at least Jake was, you know, rambling on the videos, and at least, you know, he felt uncomfortable, because I do. Like, I feel super vulnerable. And I think I want this also to be like a little bit of a journal where you can watch me in real time try to start to play with these ideas of what happens beyond the physical. And I think this is for anybody. It's to say anybody who has these, like my calluses. I get asked a lot if I use spray tan, and I do occasionally, full disclosure, but I haven't for like months. So anyway, so what I was gonna say is that will probably pop up in my videos, the randomness, but I think I'm gonna try to keep that in there just because it is who I am. The thing that I think is difficult is that process, and I wanna be very transparent with how I'm getting there. Whether in the future I start to edit these videos down or not, this is kind of the format that I would like to speak from. And yeah, I think one of the big things is for me not telling anybody what is right or wrong, because I'm trying to think of how to put this. I mean, the beauty in life to me is in the possibilities and the probabilities. The possibility that something could actually happen in the physical form is the beauty of creativity. What is the possibility that I could create X, Y, or Z? What is the possibility that this person will say X, Y, or Z to me? Not necessarily coming from the angle that if this person says this to me, then it is wrong, or this person said this to me, it is right. This might seem like a little bit of a far out concept here, but it comes from a place of acceptance in the fact that whatever is happening in your reality is happening throughout your own personal lens. And that lens for me is what I'm going to be trying to speak from, because it's really weird to me too, because like as I'm explaining some of this, I can feel that my body is kind of like trying to move and groove with the expression part, because I think about this stuff all the time. It's just the expression. It's kind of funny. It's like moving out of a cocoon. I might just pause it so I can gather my thoughts for a second. Okay, so just took a little cut there. I was realizing as I was kind of going through this, it will take me a long time to explain some of these thought processes, but that might need to be cut up in different videos. But ultimately, my goal is not to show you or to tell you exactly what's happening in reality, or what is right or wrong, or what is or what isn't. My goal is to explain the possibilities of what's out there through thought-provoking questions. Because that is the difference to me between this like Newtonian physics of like determinism. Like if I throw this ball at X speed from this angle, and I, in the Newtonian world, know exactly where this is gonna be, like Newton's physics, right? The beautiful part about quantum physics or quantum mechanics is that at a microscopic, smallest level, the electron essentially can move and has an element of randomness, but not randomness. It's closer to probabilities than it is actual randomness. And so therefore, in these videos, my goal is to describe the probabilities or the possibilities of what happens in life. One of those things, like for an example, is one way to think about it is like a sports team. A really great sports team will win 75% of their games. Like that's a phenomenal sports team. And then a poor sports team might be winning 25% of their games. If you say that for sure this team is going to win over the other team, what you're thinking is Newtonian physics. Like absolutely the Chiefs will beat the Cardinals or whatever, which is okay as like a small thought process is like in your life. But when you get down to it, if you accept that there is a 25% chance that the Cardinals are going to win based on X, Y, and Z, or whatever your statistics are, your probabilities are, then what you're doing is accepting the probabilities of life, the options that are out there for you. And I think with this video, this one's gonna be short, but that's really where I wanna go with these videos, is not for me to tell you this is how something is. My goal is to tell you this is what I've seen based off of the data that I've collected, which is gonna turn into like a very weird format on YouTube because it's not going to sound the same as anyone else's videos. Not to say that people are doing a similar thing. It's just my goal is to try to tell you or try to show you what I see from my perspective, and through that it's going to come a lot of vulnerability, and that's one of the reasons why I have it set up like this right now in my house, because I don't necessarily want to use a lot of energy to do all this other stuff while I'm just trying to get myself motivated enough, not even motivated enough, but to give myself that pull to move towards doing instead of pushing myself towards it. It's another phenomenon in physics, but also like I think most people could agree that if you wake up and your job or your career is pulling you to work in a way that's motivating, then that job will carry you through the challenges that you have in doing whatever it is you're doing. When you have to force yourself to get up every single day because you hate your job, like I think it's an obvious, I think it's obvious for most people that will create more burnout. And I know that myself, that if I do that all the time and I'm pushing myself to create too much or to create too quickly or to be perfect, then I'm gonna start to lose the pull to create videos. And so my goal is just to let you know that at this stage, because frankly, I'm really just talking to Jake and I know that. So my goal right now is to create a happy pull to create the videos, because that's like a very sensitive thing for me right now, that it teeters sometimes of like this exhaustion of like, wow, am I really gonna put myself out there to talk about these things that I think about all the time or that I have experienced? And so the reason why I'm making this video specifically is because I want you to see this stage in my process as well of the creative, not really sure, honestly. And that's why I'm making the video, is because I don't necessarily for sure have an idea of where this is going, but going back to where, like what we were talking about before with the Newtonian possibilities, is that I think there's a good possibility, and that I'll explain later, but there's a good possibility that there's, I just think that as I progress, the possibilities will get better, that these videos will get more enjoyable, and that you can stick through them. So yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna finish this one, much shorter. I feel very lucky to be here. I just hope that if you're someone who is creating or a creator, that you can relate to me. Or if you're watching this and we're 10 years in the future and you're like, oh, this is where Jake started. This is really where Jake started. There are other things too that I'll express maybe in a different video, but that are just hilarious, of me trying to be able to talk to the camera. But for right now, I think this is where I'll leave it off, and you'll be able to see this raw, just clunky video that I'm gonna be proudly putting out there. So if you don't like watching these for right now, I totally get it, but I'm gonna have to do it for the beginning process for me. So I appreciate you sticking in there. Love you guys. I feel very lucky to be here. This is Beyond the Physical.